Western World of Sports, ahoy! How's everybody doing? Welcome to another Big Bash Clash. I like that. That's a nice little rhyme. We're jumping live here on YouTube, but they're still sorting out some technical difficulties on TikTok. Tried to get them to go live at the same time, but TikTok is updating, and the game's already started, so I thought we needed to kick on in here and be up and running, because we don't want to miss too much action. Even though TikTok is the biggest platform in terms of the cricket, we thought we'd better get things up and running. For those of you who do join us here on the YouTube, the tube. So yeah, for some reason, that's updating on TikTok, but this game has gone underway, and Ben Duckett is carrying on his phenomenal form here in BBL 13. Starting with a boundary that close to a 6. And we do need him to get a 6 here tonight. As well as Marcus Stoinis. Marcus Stoinis to hit a 6. Ben Duckett hit a 6. And for the Sydney Sixers, wickets for Kerr and Dorshus will go a long way towards this multi. But they've started with Hussain. And Duckett gets down the pitch to him, takes him on, and there is a 6. Duckett hits a 6. We've got a tick off the multi already. That's what I always love to see. The first over in, and already a tick off the multi. And it is the Melbourne Stars being sent into bat. None for 12 off the first over on the back of Ben Duckett. Riding on the Ducks' back, shall we say. Yes, welcome along here to this game. As I said, just sorting out some technical difficulties here on TikTok. It's always something. If it's not one thing, it's another. Now, it was always a risk here for the Sydney Sixers, winning the toss, electing to field first, and they've opened with spin bowling. We don't see the opening with spin bowling all that much. And Ben Duckett has said, thank you very much. A big fan of this. All right, we're almost there on TikTok. 1 over, not too bad. Jack Edwards takes the ball for the second over, and he's got Harper on strike. He'll be happy about that because Duckett has started very well down the other end. As anticipated, of course. Starts very well with that delivery. All right, now, we're getting there on TikTok. This might have some negative effects on the camera. We'll see. As TikTok Studio kicks in, there might be some slight disturbance in the force on the webcam. Yes, as you can see, it did. Harper, this time getting involved, sweeps this one away for 4. A lovely shot. All right, I'll try and fix these technical glitches on the fly. There we go. All right, I think that is... And it's already a little better. And after being sent into bat, the best possible start here for the Melbourne Stars in a must-win game, really. This is a must-win game for them. Let's not forget, they pretty much have to go through undefeated now for the rest of the tournament if they're going to be any force. All right. Stars versus Sixers. And we are now up and running on TikTok. Fantastic. All right. Technical difficulties sorted. And we are up and running properly across all platforms. Wasted World of Sports. Nice to officially be with you here for this one. XJC, ahoy, mate. And there we go. Much better. Okay, I think we're all good. Yes, so some technical difficulties here to start. And what a start it's been for the Melbourne Stars. 16 runs off 1.4 overs. Ben Duckett, of course, doing a majority of the damage. 12 runs off the first over. And we had Ben Duckett in our multi for a 6-hit. So we've already gone and ticked that one off nice and early. That's what we want. Now I just need Marcus Stoinis to get out there at some point and hit a 6 as well, the captain. As we were discussing, a must-win game here for the Stars. It's top versus bottom, basically. The Sydney Sixers currently equal first place. The Melbourne Stars down in last spot. Harper steps across the stumps and clips it straight to Jordan Silk, standing there at mid-wicket. That's an easy catch. And Edwards picks up the first wicket. Harper goes for 4 of 6 balls. And a rather nonsense wicket, really. Off he goes. Nothing was really happening there. Steps across the stumps and just clips it straight to the man. Silk at mid-wicket. Easy catch. Jackson. Ahoy there, mate. What's good, man? How's it going? Hope you're doing good. Yeah, doing all right, Jackson. You know, I started back at work this week. So I'm a little bit tired. But I can't miss the cricket. I almost did. Can't miss the cricket. Hope you're well, Jackson. Ollie asks who do I go for in the BBL. I go for the Brisbane Heat. In this particular game, though, I've tipped the Sydney Sixers. But I also would not be upset at all if the Melbourne Stars won. I realise that is the ultimate sitting on the fence. Dorshus into the attack. All right, here's one of our wicket takers that we need in the multi. And he starts on point. Getting some movement through the air away from Duckett. Ben Duckett has started extremely well with the bat as we expected. Had Ben Duckett for a 6, and he didn't let us down. Jackson's Seagulls fan in the NRL. Very much looking forward to the NRL season. Covering all the action here on the Waste of Water Sports as Dorshus gets this one swinging away from Ben Duckett again. And he can't get Dorshus away. He had a field day in the opening over with the spin. Dorshus starts with 2 dots. Down the pitch, Duckett charges him and gets all of that along the ground for 4. Straight back past the bowler. Nearly wipes out the shins of the umpire. That's all good, Jackson. I'm a graphic designer. Freelance. So all the places that I do jobs for were closed for the holidays. Reopened now, so I was back into work, and I discovered that it's very difficult to do 4 or 6 hours work in the day and then cover the big bash in the night time. Rock my balls, ahoy, mate. Who's the better team here? Geez. Well, I mean, the Sydney Sixers are traditionally the team that they're usually, if not always, there or thereabouts. Think about the Sydney Sixers are like the Penrith Panthers or the Melbourne Storm of the NRL. They're always there or thereabouts, challenging for the finals more often than not. Melbourne Stars are currently bottom of the table, but they do not deserve to be there. They're a much better team than what they've managed to dish up so far. So I'd say that the Melbourne Stars this season are kind of like the Rabbitohs or the Eels. Lots of promise, some big names on paper, a good team on paper, but they've just been struggling to get things to click as Webster turns this away for a couple of runs. And it's 1 for 23 at the end of the third over. A decent start here. Jackson going on a likes rampage over there on TikTok. I'll be perfectly honest, we are still very, very new to TikTok. I do not know what that means, but it always sounds mighty impressive. So, thank you. I think it means that you're essentially there tapping away at the screen on the like button. I'll drink to that, Jackson, either way. And cheers to the big man, 162, for the follow. Oh, here we go. Things are heating up. Sean Abbott into the bowling attack. The final over of the power play. Abbott taking on Duckett. Oh, I love this matchup. I can't wait to see this. And Duckett cuts him away. Square of the wicket. Over the top of the circle. Oh, poor old mate falls over. They come back for 3 runs. And unfortunately, that matchup has now been taken away from me. Ben Duckett with the early strike. Duckett moves to 20 off 11. Webster. 2 from 2. He's got the strike now. He'll fancy his chances here, Sean Abbott. Drifts onto the pads. Turned away for just the single. Duckett back on strike. So a little loose to start here, Sean Abbott. None for 4 off his 2 balls. Rock my balls. How many followers do we have on TikTok right now? No, I'm not sure. Duckett back on strike. Fuller delivery. And he's just forced to play it back to the bowler. A dot ball. He'll be frustrated, Duckett. He's not used to dot balls. The big man, 162. Do I go for an AFL team? Whew, excuse me. If I had to choose one, I don't follow the AFL. But when I was little and I used to watch it, I either went for Essendon or Collingwood. Back-to-back dot balls here. That could be frustrating for Duckett, especially here in the power play. Got to take maximum advantage, right, of having that field up. 2 balls left for Abbott. He's right on target here. Draws Duckett into the shot. And just what we were talking about, the frustration. Draws the big shot. Duckett puts it straight down the throat of mid-on. And it's 2 for 27. Well, we were just talking about it, weren't we? 2 dot balls were always going to be frustrating to a player like Duckett. And he couldn't resist. Gets it a little high on the bat. Sean Abbott with the wicket. Should have had him in my multi. Oh, well. That's what I get. That's what I get. Should have had him in there instead of Dorcius and Kerr. Ben Duckett, though, he's done his job for me. He might not have done his job fully for his team, but he's done it for me. He hit a 6. Hit a 6 in the very first over. So I've got no complaints about him. 2 for 27. And Dan Lawrence out to the crease now. Where's Marcus Stoinis? It's Stoinis out there. He'll turn this around. Abbott with his final ball. Drifts onto the pads again, but gets away with it. Dot ball to finish. That is the end of the power play. 4 overs gone, 2 for 27. The Sydney Sixers on top here, just ever so slightly. Those were 2 big wickets and only 27 runs in the power play. I'm giving that first 4 overs to the Sixers, I reckon. They've started on top. Pressure on the Stars now. Oh, don't even get me started. Do not even get me started, rock my balls, on the Ezra Mam situation. I'm actually going to do an entire video on it. Not live. I'll do a pre-recorded thing for YouTube. As Hussain back into the attack. Well, he went for 12 in his first over. And they think maybe now would be a good time to bring him on with 2 fresh batsmen at the crease. Although they were both fresh batsmen at the start of the match, weren't they? So that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But anyway, there's no field restrictions, which might be a little bit better for Hussain here. But yes, long story short, I would have thought that if you're suspended and you're serving a suspension, that kind of means, like, go away. Don't be around here until your suspension is served. It is what I would have thought. But at the same time, I mean, whether you agree with it or not, he is still going to be allowed to play. His suspension is only missed games. Didn't say anything about missing training, as far as I'm aware. So there is that to consider as well, I guess. But still, I mean, it's a bit ballsy of the Broncos, right? I mean, just to parade him out there at training, like, maybe keep that under wraps for a little bit. 3 singles to start this over. It's 2 for 30. Down the pitch goes Lawrence, charges the bowler, spanks it straight down the ground for 4. That's a good shot. A little dance down the wicket. And Hussain continues to get absolutely tonked here. Seven off this over, 12 off his first one, 2 left. Chopped away, straight to the man at point. No run. Heel fries, ahoy mate. Happy New Year, buddy. Hope it's all started very well. And cheers to the Eels in 2025. Kai Matheson, ahoy there. Go the Stars. Lockie Mack, ahoy mate. Us Heat boys want the Stars to win. I follow back 88, ahoy. How good was that Brisbane Heat comeback just the other night? Sensational. End of another over, and it's 2 for 35. The Stars, though, Ben Duckett, that was a big wicket. And Tom Murphy now, Daniel Vettori Jr. has got the ball, assisting with the spin here. The Sydney Sixers. Interesting. Well, we'll see if this works out or if this takes the foot off the throw. Wide down the leg side. Way wide. AFL BMX, ahoy! Yes, indeed, I do remember that username. Doing very well, thank you, Heel Fries. Yes, looking forward to a big year of Wasted Water Sports action. Better line this time from Murphy, but it's turned away square, just the single. Barry Kane, 23, ahoy, mate. Doing very well. Tired. Very tired, but that's not anything a few beers won't fix. Drifting onto leg side again, and Webster's missed out there. He's gone square, but he picks out the man at fine leg. What score do I reckon the Stars will get tonight? Well, it all comes down, really, not to put pressure on the captain, but as Webster gets down and sweeps this one away, fine for 4. He got it right this time. Don't want to put unnecessary pressure on Marcus Stoinis, but this, currently with early wickets, this is the scenario that is set up for Marcus Stoinis to have a big one. So they can still get 160, 170. I suspect that they'd be happy with 150. 140, 150 is at least something to bowl at. That's what I always say. Get yourself to 140, 150, if nothing else. But, look, they've still got wickets in the dugout. They're going at 7.2 and over. They can still get a huge score here. End of the over from... Oh, my God, what the hell is this on the TV? Oh, it was a very big toss to win. The Sydney Sixers winning the toss, electing to bowl first. And winning the toss and bowling first has been massive in BBL 14, as Gurpreet G has pointed out. Rice is nice. Do I know what else is massive? Oh, quite a few things. My blood alcohol content, for starters. What did I think of the test selections? Very good. Hey, how much do I keep going on about Cooper Youngblood Connolly, right? I was quite excited to see his name in there. Nathan McSweeney recalled, as I figured he would be at some point. Didn't think it would happen so soon. But it's a good opportunity, isn't it? No offense to Sri Lanka, but it is a good little series for Australia to try and build for the future. Because I feel like one big criticism of Australia over the years, they don't necessarily build for the future. I feel like they're doing something about that. Here is Lawrence down the pitch to Kerr. Nothing but air. We've seen the history of Australian Test cricket, right? A lot of transitional periods because they haven't taken opportunities to blood younger stars. As Lawrence goes after this one, lofts it in the air, Gets more than enough on it. And it's over the long off fence for a big 6. Do I know who Joel Davies is? Joel Davies the cricketer, or is it a trick question? Two for 49. And despite the early wickets, the Stars have kept the run rate ticking over and almost a mix-up. Lawrence is sent back. No real threat of the run-out, though. Yeah, so despite the early wickets, they've kept that run rate ticking over at 7.3 or thereabouts. You do expect acceleration at the back end of a game. Lawrence goes after it again, lofts it up in the air. Should be taken down at long on. And Sean Abbott, well, was that kind of like a slight hit from the commentator's curse? I was about saying all they need to do. But that was really just a nothing swing. It wasn't even a swing. He's just sort of looped it up in the air. And Sean Abbott running forward takes the catch. And Lawrence goes for 14 or 13. And that's just not good enough at T20 level, is it? If you're going to chew up 13 deliveries, you probably want a bit more than 14 runs. Absolutely, Gurpreet, a big focus on spin for the upcoming Sri Lankan series. Marcus Stoinis, all right, here we go. Oh, geez, who was bowling that, by the way? Was that Kerr? If that was Hayden Kerr, I've just missed a tick off my multi. It is Kerr. All right, we'll put that one up. Another tick off the multi. 2 down, 2 to go. And here is Marcus Stoinis. We need Stoinis to hit a 6. And then we are well on here. Wiley's just... Oh, he's had a little dab at that. Stoinis, and lucky to not make contact. Kerr gets a wicket. That's another tick off the multi. Ben Duckett, we got him for a 6 hit in the first over. Rock My Ball says, go Melbourne Stars. No idea, just supporting anything that relates to Melbourne Storm. Fair enough. Well, you know what? You've also got the Melbourne Renegades. So you've got a couple of Melbourne teams that you could choose from here in the BBL. Webster and Stoinis. This could be the key partnership. Edwards, a slower ball, full on the off stump, punched back. Can't beat the man at mid-off, no run. Well on top here, the Sixers. But a big partnership. I mean, we've seen... Look at the Renegades. Speaking of the Melbourne Renegades, buddy, look at them the other night, right? I believe they were 4 for... Oh, God, I don't even remember. They were like 4 from 12 or something like that. Went on to win the game. So... Stoinis back on strike. As Webster just punches down the ground for a single. We're at the back end of the tournament. Reef asks if Ben gets a wicket. Ben Dorcius, I hope so, because I need him. He's in my multi. Ball. And on the toes, Stoinis is able to turn it away. Square the wicket for one. He's off the mark. Stoinis off the mark. We needed to hit a 6, though. Still to come, Maxwell and Cartwright. And then it's a little bit of a concern. Webster, beautiful drive onto the offside. Doesn't get all of it, but gets it through the gap in between cover and mid-off. They come through for a single. Well, not a lot of reward there for that shot. Oh, they came back for a second. Back for 2. Well run in the end. Edwards, a fuller, straighter ball. Can't field his own bowling, and they'll sneak a single here, the Stars. We're just in a little bit of a lull here as the Stars rebuild. Reef, you've got Ben Dorcius, the Sixers, and Vince, 10+ runs. I've got James Vince in mine as well. Got him to hit a 6. And a dot ball to finish. It's 3 for 54. 8 overs gone. Rock my balls. Which Melbourne team do I prefer? Well, they're kind of both down towards the bottom of the table at the moment. But that's the beauty of the Big Bash, right? The Big Bash, all the teams only play 10 games. I mean, just looking at the table at the moment, right? The top 3 are on 9 points. The bottom 2 are on 4 points with 3 games to go. The teams with the big advantage at the moment, the Sydney Sixers, who are on top at the moment, they've got a game in hand. So even if they lose this one, they've still got that game advantage. And the Hurricanes as well have got a game advantage. So they do have the advantage of being able to lose. Whereas for everyone else now, all the games are becoming must-win. Especially for the Stars. The Stars lose this, they're done. Just in case, ahoy mate. We've just hit that little lull period of the Melbourne Stars innings as they look to rebuild. Stoinis getting his eye in. Webster, 15 or 13. Kerr in for his second over. Was that an edge? There was a sound. Oh, there was a noise there. What was it? Kerr is shaking his head. I think it's hit the stumps. It's hit the stumps and the bail hasn't come off. Well, Stoinis, is this a sign from above that my multi is just meant to be tonight? Because I need Stoinis to hit a 6. The ball has hit the stumps and the bail has not been dislodged. A lifeline for Stoinis, who now just guides it away to third man for a single. The ball has hit the stumps. He's beaten him clean. And the bail stays on. That's incredible. Just 2 runs from this over. Kerr is bowling fantastically. 1 for 8 off his 1.4 overs. Unbelievable. The ball hit the stumps. It hit the top of off stump. Well, it clipped the bail is what it did. And the bail stayed on. Stoinis gets a lifeline. He's back on strike now as Webster pushes it back down to long off for a single. Final ball of the 9th over. Stoinis just fends it away for 1. Out to extra cover. 3 for 58. 9 overs gone. The run rate now has dipped below 7. It's at 6.44. No more wickets. That's the key here for the Melbourne Stars. No more wickets. Get themselves to the power surge. If they could get to the power surge with Stoinis and Webster both set, we're talking about a lot of ifs, buts, and maybes. That's the ideal situation for them, though. Get to that surge. Sean Abbott back into the attack. Drifting onto the pads again. Stoinis turns it off the hip. And they run through for a single. So Sean Abbott has just not found his target at the moment. But still, I mean, that being said, he's bowling so poorly. But he's bowling what we consider to be quite poorly. And he is still 1 for 5. Webster on strike, drifting onto the pads again. All right, I'm really starting to believe that this is purpose bowling. Sean Abbott does not miss out this often. So it's obviously tactical. T20 cricket's very different though, isn't it? Like, I was just going to say, in my day, you never drifted onto the pads like that. Well, there's an appeal from behind the stumps. Well, Stoinis is out. That's why there was an appeal from behind the stumps. Stoinis has kicked the turf in frustration. Stoinis just has a little chop at that outside off. Sean Abbott has been down the leg side all innings so far. Well, he's not left yet. Stoinis is hanging around. Dan Jam, ahoy, mate. Well, there goes my multi. Stoinis let me down again. Not for the first time this year, I'll have you know. Any bold predictions for the Six Nations, Dan Jam? What a huge letdown that is for me. What a big wicket for the Sixers. Well and truly on top now. I mean, well and truly on top now. Officially. France to win. Ireland second. Scotland, England, Italy, Wales. Italy to jump above the Welsh, huh? Wow. Oh, how far Italy have come and how far Wales have fallen, huh? I remember a long stretch of time there where Wales were they were on the cusp. Wales were on the cusp of quite consistently defeating the Wallabies. And then they got there. It's amazing how quickly they've now fallen away again. But looking forward to covering all the Six Nations action here on Wasted Water Sports. Will Main, ahoy, mate. How are you? Oh, God, just a little feather outside off there from Stoinis. Letting me down again, the big fella. Big, big trouble now for the Melbourne Stars. Can Glenn Maxwell dig them out of this? Glenn Maxwell could be the man here. Can he play the Michael Bevan role and dig his team out of trouble? It just defies belief. It really does. This Melbourne Stars team on paper are nowhere near as bad as their performances are suggesting. But yes, Dan Jam, looking forward to covering the Six Nations here on the Wasted Water Sports. We will be endeavoring to cover a lot more this year, should time and circumstance allow. Webster punches into the offside, finds a gap. Should be an easy 2, maybe push for 3. Will do, Dan Champ. Cheers, mate. Looking forward very much to trying out the new green screen setup with a rugby game. Can't wait. Sean Abbott, final ball of his second over. It's glanced fine, clipped off the toes. 4 for 64 after 10. Well, they've got to... You call the surge, right? You've got to call the surge straight away. Glenn Maxwell is the type of player, doesn't necessarily need time to get his eye in. An experienced campaigner, capable of just coming out and getting the big hits straight away. I've got to say, I'm calling it straight away. Immediately power surge. You've got to use it with these two out there. Otherwise, there's just no point. Dorcius into bowl. For what it's worth, I still need Dorcius to take a wicket. Starting with a dot ball. Dorcius bowling well. Slen says go the Stars. And Wade says hi. Ahoy, Wade. Got to switch channels. Big John says, go sports. Yeah. It's all about the sports. All right, Glenn Maxwell on strike. Dorcius bowling well. Maxwell's gone after him. Lifts him up in the air. Picks out the man at deep square leg. But Patterson drops it over the rope. Is that a 6? Or did he drop it inside the field? It's a 6. Well, Maxwell. Glenn Maxwell. He's not going to hang around. He understands the situation. He gets his assignment. And he's going straight after it. Feathers this one, does he? No. Maxwell just hung the bat out, pushed at it, and it's through to the keeper. Good response there from Dorcius. Should have had Maxwell to hit a 6 instead of bloody Stoinis. Marcus Stoinis letting me down. Dorcius bangs this one in shorter. Maxwell cuts it away. Just the single out to the man of point. Final ball here for Dorcius, his second over. Webster gets onto the tippy toes and punches it back down the ground for 1. 4 for 73, 11 overs gone. What do we reckon, chat room? I mean, I'm saying they've got to call the surge. There's not really any point them just fluffing about here and drawing this out. They need the surge with Maxwell out there at least. But Webster has surely got his eye in. No signal yet from the umpire. Looks like they haven't called it. Well, I find this bizarre, but we'll see. Edwards to Webster. Webster. The bump ball picks out the man at cover. Starting with a dot. Four for 73. The run rate, 6.54. A big bash game is never over until it's over. We have learned that a lot this year. Straight back past the bowler. Webster almost takes Edwards' head off. Straight down the ground for 4. Big hit. Stand and deliver. And that had everybody ducking. Andre, ahoy, mate. I go for the Brisbane Heat. In this game, though, I had tipped the Sydney Sixers as Webster. Off the toes, down to long on for a single. Maxwell on strike. Here's where the boundaries will come from. No wicket for Dorcius yet, no. No wicket for Dorcius and no 6 for Marcus Stoinis because the big galoot got himself out. Anyway. Maxwell glances at fine. The fielder runs around, cuts it off. They just take the single. Dorcius has bowled 2. Two to go. They'll be saving him for the death now. Webster punching down the ground. Picks out the man at mid-off. Dot ball. Dan Jam says, just out of interest, what is a galoot? I'm basically calling him stupid. The way he just hung the bat out. Caught the edge. Stupid. Edwards. Final ball to Webster. They take on the man there at cover. Resists the urge to throw. It's 4 for 80. Dan Jam says, and there was me thinking it was some ridiculous Australian bird. Well, it should be. It absolutely should be. The great galoot. Gone the way of the dodo. 4 for 80 of 12. Yes, 6.67 the run rate. And here comes the power surge. Ah! The power surge has been activated. It is time for the Melbourne Stars to go. Sean Abbott gets the ball, and why not? 2 for 9 of his 2 overs so far. It makes perfect sense. Webster to face the first ball. And he's happy to just push it down for a single and get Maxwell on strike. All right, here comes the big hitting. Glenn Maxwell to take on Sean Abbott. Bring on this matchup. Four for 81. 8 runs and over from here gets them 144. That won't be enough. 10 runs and over gets them 160. That's a bit more like it. Abbott to Maxwell. A half volley. Maxwell punches it down the ground. 2 bounces, 3 bounces, and then rolls over the rope for 4. Now that's what we're talking about. He did not get all of that by any stretch of the imagination, but he got more than enough on it to get a result. Pressure now goes back on the bowler. 5 runs off the first 2 balls. And it's a full toss down the leg side. It'll be at least a wide, if not a no ball. Gets away with the no ball. It's just the wide. Pressure here on Sean Abbott. Pressure on the bowling side. That was a big boundary from Maxwell to just get this started on the front foot here. This power surge. Well, they went through for a single as well. They went through for a bye, which put Webster on strike. Happy again, Webster, to just push the single. Maxwell back on strike now. Yeah, so it was a wide from Abbott, that ball before, and they also ran one. Can I go for the Hawks in the AFL? Well, I mean, I don't really go for anyone, as I said, but any particular reason? That is right in the slot, and Maxwell scoops this one over mid-on. Has it gone all the way? I don't think so. It's a 4. It was very premeditated there from Maxwell. He's putting Sean Abbott under a lot of pressure here. And Abbott just hangs his head and slinks back to his bowling mark. 8 runs from this over so far. Well, they're still looking at this. I think it's clearly bounced inside the rope. And 4 runs. Best to be sure, though, I suppose. 4 for 92. Glenn Maxwell holds the keys to Melbourne City at the moment. This innings pretty much relies on him being ably supported at the moment by Webster. 29 off 27. But it's Maxwell. 17 runs off 7 balls. Doing what was needed and taking advantage here of these power surge overs. Drifting onto the pads, Maxwell lifts it through the circle, but there's protection out there at long leg, just the one. And this is now a free hit for Webster. This is essentially a free swing for Webster. He doesn't want to get out, of course. But the more time Maxwell can spend on strike in these 2 overs, the better it will be here for the Stars. It's basically a free hit here. And he goes after it. Abbott gets it right on the toes and lifts it over long off for 6. Well, this is a huge start to the power surge. He essentially had a free swing, and he took it. Here come the Stars. Long way to go, though, still, to try and turn this around. 4 for 99, 13 overs gone. Webster moves to 35 off 28. Maxwell's 18 off 8. 1 more power surge over remains. And who will the Sixers turn to bowl it? They're turning to Ben Dorcius. Well, here we go, Reef. Here we go. Dorcius has got 2 overs left. They're going to bowl him here in the surge to try and stem the flow of runs. And then he'll have 1 more over at the end. Maxwell goes for the reverse sweep. Gets hold of it. 1 bounce over the rope. Dorcius is under big pressure now. Oh, the Stars are turning this around quick smart. They are, of course, just 1 wicket away from this all falling to pieces again. Glenn Maxwell, a vacant third-man area, reverses it down. This time, has a big swing at this outside off stump. And it was a big air swing there. The Dorcius responds well. 4 for 103. Goes the reverse again. Gets all of it this time. And that's a 6. A full ball. And Maxwell reverses the bat and just guides it over backward point. This is unbelievable batting. Marcus Rogers, ahoy there, mate. Welcome back. And Will Main, here they come. Here they come. 10 runs off this over. Big pressure on Dorcius. Goes the reverse again. Maxwell swings and misses. Well, why not? Why not keep going after it? For 109, Harley's AFL talk. Ahoy. Stars for the cup. Two balls left here for Dorcius. 49 of 25 balls, this partnership. He's had a big swipe at this, Maxwell. They'll push for two. They come back for two. The 50 partnership is up between these two. 51 of 26 balls. Glenn Maxwell and Webster. Maxwell retains the strike for the final ball of the surge. Guides this one over the leg side. And they come back for another two. 4 for 115. A massive, massive power surge. And the Stars have just got themselves back in the contest. On the back of Glenn Maxwell, ably supported by Webster. Maxwell's 32 of 14. Webster 35 of 28. Webster was in well before Maxwell got there. Let's not forget that. But it's what we were talking about, right? Maxwell, he doesn't need to take the traditional time to set. He's more than capable to just come out there and go for the big shots straight away. And he's proving that here tonight as Hayden Kerr back into the attack. And he's on point straight away. Webster just pushes to the onside for a single. And why not get Maxwell on strike? Why wouldn't you? Honestly, at this point. Maxwell was dropped, of course. Dropped on the fence. It was only second ball, I believe. Maxwell was dropped on the rope in single digits, if he had any digits at all at that point. He's gone on to make the Sixers pay here. Can he finish the job, though? 4 for 114. Still work to do. Kerr to Maxwell. Slower ball. Dot ball. Well bowled. Maxwell didn't get to the pace of it. Four for 114. I think they're at very least going to give themselves something to bowl at here. GM 4N 456. I have tipped the Sydney Sixers in this one. But as always, when it's not my team in the match, we just want to see a good game. Back-to-back dot balls here for Kerr. Right in the slot. Maxwell guides it straight down the ground. One bouncing over the rope for 4. Well, that's poor bowling. That was poor bowling, and Maxwell's dealt with it. I go for the Brisbane Heat. Slower ball. Outside off. Maxwell happy to just push it through for a single. Up the NRL. Who wins? Well, I think the Sydney Sixers are still on top. But the Stars have gone a long way to rescuing this innings and setting their target. Sixers still slightly ahead at the moment, I would have to say. Four for 120, end of another over. And, well, it's even Stevens at the moment on the bookmakers. Even Stevens. The Melbourne Stars and the Sydney Sixers on Sportsbet, both paying $1.90. The bookmakers cannot split them at the moment. Maxwell has done a fantastic job, supported by Webster, to get the Stars back into this game. That's incredible. Incredible how they've rebuilt this. And here's a chance for them. Hussein into the bowling attack. Hussein, none for 20 off his 2 overs so far. This is another chance to attack and keep that momentum going. 8 runs and over gets them 160. 10 and over gets them 170. Webster playing the support role. He's very happy to play the support role here, just punching it down to the long off. Just a single, get Maxwell on strike. Maxwell will do the big hitting, the heavy lifting. Hussein to Maxwell. Maxwell's got the helmet off. He backs away from the stumps. Pulls this one into the outfield. Just a single. He'll feel like he's missed out there. Ezra Robertson, ahoy, mate. Welcome back to a very, very intriguing game. And it's delicately poised at the moment. Webster gives himself some room, punches this down to long off, and they race through for a second. That's well run. Thumbs up from Maxwell. Taking it easy tonight. Ezra taking it very easy tonight on the Han Ultra Low Carb. A 0 carb, actually. Not even low carb. 0. 4 for 124. Webster, 40 runs off 32. Gives himself some space and goes down to that same area that he's been punching all night. Long off for a single. And this has been a good over so far from Hussein. I'll tell you what happens, though. There's nothing wrong with the taste. They just go down too easy. The 0 carb stuff just drops way too easy. Like, I had 12 of them. I bought 2 6-packs and went, oh, this will last me the game tonight. I've only got 3 left, and we're not even through the first innings. Another single. And this has been a good over from Hussein. It's just stemmed the flow a little bit here in favor of the Sixers. And a dot ball to finish. Oh, that's really well bowled. Really well bowled. Frustrating the batsman there, Hussein. After a couple of poor overs to start, that's a really good reply. All right, I'll be right back. All right, let's go. Four for 126. 16 overs gone. Edwards, slower ball onto the pads. Maxwell wants two. They only get the single. Just the one. Four for 127. Both batsmen now on the verge of 50s. Slower ball. Clipped away. Finds the man on the boundary, but one bounce. He keeps it in the field of play. They come back for two. The Red Knight, ahoy. How are you, mate? Webster lets this one through to the offside. Deciding to not have a crack at it. It's a bit early to know who's going to win. The Red Knight. I've got to give the slight favoritism to the Sixers. But we'll see. Edwards, wide outside off. Webster gets this off the top edge. Should be taken. And it is taken. Henriques is not going to drop that. Webster goes for 43 of 36. Massive breakthrough there for the Sixers. Edwards gets the wicket. That's a big breakthrough. 5 for 129. Wow, wait a minute. Wait just a minute. It's a no ball, and Webster has been let off. The crowd erupts into a chorus of cheers as the umpires call Webster back to the crease. It was a no ball. Oh, only just. Only just, but only just it needs to be. And it's a free hit. Webster. Where will he go? Straight down the ground. Just the single. It was a no ball, Will Main, so he gets to come back. Biridin, do I do other sports? Absolutely. We're going to be covering the Six Nations. We always do the NRL. And Maxwell pulls this away over the top of the keeper for 4. Lions tour later this year, yes. Four for 135. Still 3 overs to go after this delivery. Maxwell. Just the single. Maxwell's 45 of 23. Webster, 44 of 38. 4 for 136. 3 overs to go. If they can go 10 and over for these next 3, they get 166. I mean, that will be a decent score. You would have to think that they'd be targeting 10 and over as a minimum. "76 runs on 46 balls. This has got the Brisbane Heat feels about it from the other night, doesn't it? The Melbourne Renegades from the other night. The recovery sessions. Dorcius to Maxwell. Reverse sweep. Misses it. Oh, 5 more balls, Reef. 5 more balls. Reef needs Ben Dorcius for a wicket. Well, mind you, my multi's already done with Marcus Stoinis not hitting a 6. But I could still get my wager back if only one leg fails. So I would still like Ben Dorcius to take a wicket. Dorcius takes a wicket, we've still got something to target. There's a little bit of confusion out there in the middle. I think Maxwell wants a no ball or a wide. Dorcius bangs it in short. Gets some movement off the pitch away from Maxwell. And again, he is appealing to the umpires for a call. He really, really wants that call of a no ball. Maxwell gets the top edge, but the top edge goes all the way into the stands. Maxwell gets a 50. Ashtonko. Ahoy there, mate. Welcome along. A top edge that goes 73 meters. And Maxwell brings up his 50. What a performance it's been from Maxwell tonight. Dorcius with a slower ball, outside off. And they race through for a single. Saps, ahoy. What a recovery this has been from the Stars. The job's not done yet. But what a recovery it's been. Ben Dorcius has got 2 more deliveries to get a wicket for our multi. Can he do it? Dorcius to Webster. Webster punches down the ground. Diving attempted catch. And it spills out. James Vince can't reel it in. That would have been an absolute specky if he took it. Webster's given another life. Maxwell's had a life. Dorcius with his last ball, just over the top of the man at mid-wicket. Painfully so for everyone with multis. And it's officially over now. No wicket for Dorcius. No 6 for Stoinis. The multi's officially done and dusted. 4 for 147. 18 overs gone. It's been a great recovery from the Stars. I mean, 147, they'll easily get to 150. And I did say 150 is at least something to bowl at. They'll look to push on and get more than that, of course. Will Main, you might be going to the Renegade Stars game on Sunday at Marvel Stadium. Very nice. Now, when you say might, do you mean if they don't win this one? Sean Abbott now to bowl himself out. Maxwell. Back down the ground to mid-off for a single. Yes, if they... I thought so. I thought so, Will. If they don't win this, you might not go. Stay mad. Lol says, come on, Sixers. We're into the final 2 overs now. 18.1 gone. 4 for 148. I reckon they've got to push to at least 160. Anything over 160 is a bonus. Top edge from Webster, and this time it's taken. Enriquez will not drop those. And Webster's got to go this time. He's been given a couple of lives, and disappointingly for him, he won't get his 50. You've got to say he probably deserved it. He played the support role perfectly, did Webster. 48 or 41. Did what he needed to do. Just hang around the crease and let Maxwell do the heavy lifting. Credit where credit is due to Webster's role. 5 for 148. Hilton Cartwright. Can they finish with a flurry here, the Stars? Abbott. Right on target here to the new man. A dot ball to start. Got to go for it here. If you get yourself out, so be it, but got to have a swing. And have a swing he does. Comes up with nothing but air. 2 dot balls to start. Well bowled from Sean Abbott. 3 for 29 off his 3.4 so far. And another air swing from Cartwright. Showing that it's difficult for most batsmen to just come in and have a swing and make contact straight away. Three dot balls for Hilton Cartwright to start. 5 for 148. James Kane, thank you very much for the follow. Jesus, I went to school with a bloke called James Kane. That takes me back. We used to play all the sports together. I'm assuming that you're probably not the same James Kane, but it does bring back some memories for me just seeing the name. 5 for 148, 4 dot balls to start here for Hilton Cartwright. Certainly not what was needed. 1 over to go. And that wicket has well and truly slowed them down. Who's going to bowl the last? Five for 148, and it's Hayden Kerr. Why not? 1 for 17. Wide outside off. Maxwell lifts it over the top of the infield. We'll push for a second, and we'll get to 150's up, so that's at least something to bowl at. What can they come up with? What can they come up with from here on in? The right man is facing Kerr. 1 for 19 of 3.1. It goes the reverse. Misses it. It's hit the pad. A big appeal. But the umpire's not interested in that. Must have got some bat. All right. Hilton Cartwright now needs to get some runs. Here's the replay of that. Well, yeah. Abby Besley. I tipped the Sydney Sixers in this particular game, but I don't go for the Sydney Sixers. Four deliveries left. Oh, they're reviewing this. Okay. They are reviewing this LBW. Or more sort of belly button before W. Maxwell gets down to go for the reverse. Misses it. There was a big appeal from the bowler. Might have pitched out line. Yeah, pitched outside the line. Might have just hit him outside the line. Oh, no, it's hit him in line. Well, this could be out. This could be the end of Maxwell. Oh, here we go. This is the camera angle. This could be the angle. This is close, actually. This is pretty close. I reckon it's going to be umpire's call, yeah? Pitching outside leg. Pitching outside leg. Mitch Dell, you're at the game right now. Awesome. The atmosphere is probably pretty cool. All right, Hilton Cartwright has got to get some runs. He's no runs or 4 deliveries faced. Goes after it, pulls it away, doesn't get hold of it at all. They'll just take the single. Brings Maxwell back on strike. Neonello says, what's your average sip per over? I don't know, but I'll tell you what, I bloody like it. I feel like that's something that needs to be monitored. That'd be a fantastic addition to a cricket stream. I really like that. That is a good idea. Actually, as Maxwell lifts this off the pads. Hang on. I've got to take a screenshot of that so I don't forget. That is brilliance. That is. I might need to hire you as my marketing person. 5 for 153 here. 2 balls left. And they've done extremely well, the Sixers, to really tighten things up in the final 2 overs. Just when the Stars had looked like they'd recovered nicely, they've still got themselves something to bowl at, but I think these final couple of overs has really swung it back in favour of the Sixers. And we'll have to suss out whether Sportsbet agrees with me or not as we approach the end of this innings. Final ball. Maxwell goes after it. Pulls it away into the outfield. Can't quite pick the gap. And they come back for 2. 5 for 156. Will that be enough? You get the feeling that it's about 14 short of a decent score. And yes, the Sydney Sixers are now $1.48 favourites. The Melbourne Stars have blown out to $2.60. Remember, at one point there, that was even Stevens. At one point there, during that Maxwell-Webster partnership, it was $1.90 apiece. So the Sydney Sixers have recovered and reclaimed clear favoritism here. But still, you never know. How many surprises has the Big Bash dished up for us so far in BBL 14, right? Quite a few. Unfortunately, my multi's done and dusted already. That's a bit of a shame. Marcus Stoinis let me down. Ben Dorshus let me down. I haven't seen Reef. Reef must be upset because Ben Dorshus let him down as well. West World of Sports, this is the innings break. So I'm going to have a quick break as well. I'll have a break and Gina Ferracini, ahoy. Actually, no, I won't. I'm going to stay now. Gina's here. I don't get to talk to her very often. Oh, now I've put the pressure on. What are we going to talk about? I've just made things awkward. I mean, we could talk about pasta, but I feel like that's getting old now. Chunky 2-1-1-0. Webster a chance for player of the match. Oh, well, I think probably not, Chunky, because Maxwell has surpassed him. Webster played a fantastic support role, but Maxwell was really the key ingredient to rebuilding that innings there for the Stars. And now, yes, absolutely, if Webster takes a couple of wickets, I just think that I think he'd really have to smash through this batting lineup to make a dent. Just personally, that's my personal opinion. I think he'd have to take quite a few wickets to take away from what Maxwell did with the bat. But, of course, I mean, they've got to win first, right, don't they? They would have to actually win the game first and foremost, and that's not exactly looking likely. Will Steedman, my tip before the game was Sydney Sixers. My tip has not changed. Sydney Sixers would still be on top. What do we always say, though? We always say every single stream, you can't judge a pitch until both teams have played on it. Be interesting to see what the Sydney Sixers dish up. They might lose early wickets as well. But what we do know for certain is that the Melbourne Stars need to come out here and absolutely bowl their hearts out, because their season's already hanging by a thread. And it would still be hanging by a thread even if they managed to get a win tonight. But they need that win. Otherwise, all hope is gone. So we'll have to see. All right, I really need to have a quick break. We'll be right back for the run chase. Coming up right after this on the Wasted World of Sports. Live on YouTube, live on TikTok, live on Twitch, live on Facebook. Wasted World of Sports, bringing you all the Big Bash NRL rugby union action throughout the course of 2025. Be right back after this. Can the Sydney Sixers chase these runs down, or can the Melbourne Stars pull off a few early wickets and make one hell of a game out of it? We'll find out very, very shortly. Oh, Jat 420 says 2-wicket loss. 2-wicket loss Sydney will be. What does that mean exactly? You're 2 wickets in the power play is what I'm gathering. Two Sydney Sixers wickets to fall in the opening 4. So 5 for 156. The score that's been set by the Melbourne Stars. The Sydney Sixers winning the toss and electing to field first. You would have to say on top going into it. But as we know, a few quick wickets could certainly change that. Quick smart. We've seen so many games completely turn. Dylan says the Sixers are probably the weakest team on paper each year, but they do so well. Ain't that the truth? And I would say that about the Perth Scorchers as well, to be perfectly honest. And I think the reason why the Sydney Sixers and the Perth Scorchers are constantly so good is because they build a team not reliant on international players. Now, they obviously have international players on their payroll, but they build their team around those players not being there, and when they're available to plug back in, they just plug them back in. That's what I really admire about the Sixers and the Scorchers, and that's what always depresses me about my team, the Brisbane Heat. The Brisbane Heat throw big money at players that aren't even going to be playing for the entire competition. They've done that for years. It makes no sense to me. Why pay huge money contract to a player that's not even going to be playing the full tournament? Back your homegrown players that you know are going to be there from game one through to the finals if you make it. Anyway, I don't mean to always turn it into a rant about the Brisbane Heat every single time. Well, some quick wickets, and that will certainly make things interesting here, but the Sydney Sixers, you would have to think, are on top here. 157, I reckon, personally. Oh yeah, personally, I think they're about 14 runs too short, I would say. Yes, Nathan May, Peter Siddle is still kicking on. Can't keep him down. Peter Siddle. Dan Christian's another one, right? Peter Siddle and Dan Christian. They refuse to be kept out of the squad. D-Funk, ahoy, mate. And D-Funk says, who knows what goes on in Brisbane? Look how much they pay Reece Walsh. Yes. Well. Maybe it is a Brisbane thing. Nathan May says, South Sydney Premiers, baby. I'm afraid 2025 is the year of the Storm. That's my early call. But the Rabbitohs will most certainly be back in finals contention. 2024 was a mere blip on the radar. For the Rabbitohs, things just didn't go their way. Injuries, bounce of the ball, nothing went their way in 2024. They did not deserve to be as low down as they were. They'll definitely be back in finals footy. But I just think the Melbourne Storm will be far too strong this year. I don't think the Panthers' curse applies to the Craig Bellamy-led Melbourne Storm. Ahoy there on YouTube, name that I have no chance of saying. I'm going to give it a go, though. It's all different characters. Oh, it's another language. Okay. Well then, I have no... Hebrew. Oh, God. All right, I've got no chance then. I have no chance at all. Don't mention the war. Why? If anyone's ever seen Faulty Towers, don't mention the war. But this is the updated version. They will absolutely improve under Wayne Bennett, Nathan May. By the way, can I just say, I also love the fact that all the innings breaks all the innings breaks in the cricket streams turn into talk about the upcoming NRL season, which I think is fantastic. I'll tell you who I'm really, really concerned about in 2025. I hold huge concerns for the Dolphins. The Dolphins have struggled with depth since their inception, and they're still failing to recruit. They just, for whatever reason, they just can't draw players to the club. And now that Wayne Bennett's moved on, that's only going to get worse. The retention and recruitment's only going to get worse. I'm very concerned about the Dolphins for 2025, to be honest. They've got a solid enough starting squad. One or two injuries, though, and I'm afraid they're cooked. All right, bring on the run chase. The Stars set 5 for 156 for the Sixers to chase, and Josh Philippe to open the batting and look to get this all started on the front foot here for the Sixers. Let's see what they can come up with. Joel Paris Joel Paris to open the bowling here for the Stars. And bring on the run chase. Starts with a beautiful in-swinging ball that's just turned off the hip for one. Lots of swing out there tonight. Even early on in the Stars batting, we saw lots of swing from the Sixers bowlers. Who bowled well for the Sixers? Asks Miles Gill. Jeez. Hayden Kerr was immense. Sean Abbott bowled well. Yeah, there was quite a few of them. Dorcius didn't get a wicket, but he bowled a very important over towards the back end there. Do I think the Stars have enough? I think the Stars are at least 14 runs too short, but we'll see. A couple of early wickets can swing a game, but just based on statistics and everything going into this run chase, I would say about 14 runs at least too short, 14 to 20 too short. Have I watched the Squid Game? I'll tell you what, this is how much of a fan I am of Squid Game. Give me 1 second. This is how much I love Squid Game. I even went and bought the board game, which is actually, there we go. I even bought the board game. Yeah, big fan. 4 runs off this first over. .153 needed off 116 balls. So the required run rate at 7.91 and over. Harris to Philippe. Almost caught and bowled. Gets it just over his head. Straight back down the ground. And they'll race back for his second. Six off this over. A good start to the chase. Final ball from Paris. Just turned off the pads. Out to deep square leg for 1. None for 7 off the first over. And this is a solid start here for the Sixers. Chasing down the 156 set by the Stars. $150 needed off 114 deliveries. And here is Steckity into the bowling attack. Former Brisbane Heat bowler. A slip in place. Webster. Steckity drifts onto the leg side. Philippi could have let that go. Would have been a wide. There was no touch on it, so it is a wide. Ah, no, it's not a wide. Okay. Off the hip. No touch from the bat. None for 8. A leg bye to start this over. He's got to straighten it up a bit here, Steckity. Still onto the pads, but Vince just turns it down for no run. The real Sixer fan. That's good. I can actually read that one. Steckity onto the pads again. There was a noise. Vince couldn't get hold of it. Chasing the batsman here, Steckity. Good bowling. None for 8 off 1.3. Steckity was one of those bowlers for the Brisbane Heat that I feel like he never quite... Oh, well played by Vince. Pulls this one away into the gap. Through mid-wicket for 4. James Vince. A loose ball punished. First runs off the bat for Steckity. Now Vince backs away, gives himself room. Cuts it over the offside. Siddle down there at third man. They'll come back for 2. 7 off this over again there. Hovering around that required run rate. Been a good start for the Sixers. Peter Siddle doesn't age. Still running around. Full stride. Steckity, his last ball, draws the outside edge. Or the leading edge. They take a quick single. It's none for 15 after 2 overs. .89, the required run rate, 7.5. What they're traveling along at the moment. It's all right, the real Sixer fan. I don't think they need to do anything too crazy here. 7.89 and over is a more than maintainable run rate. They don't want to lose wickets by doing anything unnecessary. Peter Siddle into the attack. Drifts wide down the leg side to start. Well, we've seen that a lot tonight, actually. We've seen a lot of bowlers just not hitting the mark early. Their first balls drifting down the leg side. I don't do any test cricket. Real Sixer fan, no. the test cricket, I'm afraid, is just too long. Vince happy to just fend this one away. Pushes to the offside for a dot ball. .141 needed off 107. All the wickets in the dugouts. Siddle to Vince. Vince pulls him away. A man out there at square leg. Just the one run. Early wickets, the key here for the Stars. Oh, excuse me. Well bowled by Peter Siddle. This is incredible. Turning back the clock. Peter Siddle has been absolutely on point here in BBL 14. Just the 2 runs off this over so far. A wide and a dot ball. Wide down the leg side this time. That's a gift for Philippi. And Philippi just glides it down to fine leg boundary for 4. Just when I get... Commentator's curse, right? The commentator's curse is a real thing. I just talked him up how well he's bowling, and he drifts way too far down the leg side here. And that is a gift boundary for Philippi. And again, drifts onto the pads. That's a wide. Might have brushed the pad. Might have just brushed the pad there, that one. A dot ball. Up the NRL. Asks who wins. Look, I still think the Sydney Sixers clear favourites. Clear favourites from here on in. 136 off 103 balls. All wickets left in the dugout. Big appeal here from Siddle. Big shout. I don't know why, because it was going a long way over the stumps. It was a big appeal nonetheless. Do I think the Stars can win? Well, of course they can win. It's still early. None for 21 off 3 overs. Wickets are the key. The Stars need to take some quick wickets. That'll be the key to their charge here to defending this total. They need wickets. Steckety back into the attack. Big shout from Peter Siddle there at the end of the last over, going a mile over the stumps. Vince on strike here to Steckety. Happy to just fend it away to the leg side for 1. Oh, well, here we go. It was pitching outside off. Impact was in line, but it was a mile over the top of the stumps, as we suspected. Missing the wickets by a good long way. None for 22 here. Steckity, and again, bowled him. Philippe's gone for the big hoik. Onto the leg side. He's missed it. Steckity hits off stump. The bails go flying. And there is the breakthrough. There is the wicket. The Stars are still a chance here. Philippe. What was he even doing there, Josh Philippe? Clean bowled by Steckity. Philippe goes for 8 of 10. It's 1 for 22. And a breakthrough during the power play. Do I think DRS is kind of goofy? Yeah. Well, DRS is essentially like any technology, right? It's capable of throwing up some... it's capable of throwing up some oddities. Capable of breaking. So I think the whole thing's ridiculous. But, I mean, look, as long as they get it right, 90% of the time, it's a good invention, right? Because we used to see some shockers back in the day, looking back. And the umpires were able to get away with it because there was no way to really call them out on it. As Patterson's off the mark immediately, the Seagull is racing away to get away from the ball. And they come back for 3. Well run there. Oh, sorry. You meant that that DRS... Oh, to DRS that call as a joke. Well, I stand by my answer just on DRS in general. I remember when BBL first started, they didn't use the DRS. Nobody really missed it. Pushing hard on this first run. Oh, DRS, the clean bowled. I thought you were talking about the Peter Siddle appeal. God, okay, yeah, DRS, the clean bowled is absolutely ridiculous. That would be the goofiest of the goofy. Yeah, I was still harking on about the Peter Siddle LBW appeal. I think is how we got our wires crossed there. Rock My Balls says, is Melbourne still going to win? What do you mean still? I don't think Melbourne were ever the favourites at any point. This game is nicely balanced now, though, as Steckity bangs it in. Addison pulls it away for 1, out to square leg. That is the end of the power play. 1 for 27. Let's see what the bookmakers say. I still have the Sydney Sixers slightly ahead. I reckon, without looking at my phone, just the way that this is poised at the moment, I would say maybe I would give the Sydney Sixers about a 20-cent differential. 20 cents, I reckon, slight favoritism to the Sixers. Let's have a look. Let's see if I got this right. Wow. Okay. Well, I didn't get it right. The Sydney Sixers are $1.60 favourites. The Melbourne Stars, $2.30 outsiders. As Patterson happy to just glide this one through the gap. Well fielded out there at backward point. Stoinis into bowl. Starts with a 3. So what did I say? 20 cents. But it's more like 70 cents. Sydney Sixers looking to establish their hold on top spot. Prefix thinks that more runs were needed in the power play. I think they did. I think they did all right. The required run rate now has just drifted out beyond 8. $127 needed off 94 balls. I guess the difference is the Sixers know exactly what they need to do. The Stars had that huge period with Maxwell and Webster. The Sixers know exactly what they need to do to match this, as Stoinis has a big appeal. A huge appeal here from Stoinis again. I think height is the issue. Oh, he thinks about it, Stoinis. He called it. Stoinis has called the DRS. I feel like this is way over the stumps again. Height, the issue. Well, this will be huge, though. This could be a good, big moment. Stoinis in. It's pitching in line. It's hitting in line, but it's over the top of leg. I reckon that's over the top of leg. At most, it's umpire's call. Jibber Jabber 19. Ahoy. I reckon at best here for the Stars, this will be umpire's call, which will remain not out. Height's the issue. I mean, a good shout, though, because either way, they will retain their review here. The Stars, if it's umpire's call, that is. And it's umpire's call on the wickets. It's going to remain not out, but they retain their review. And that is as close can be. That's actually a really good shout from Stoinis. I can see why he was interested. The review is retained. No wicket. Stoinis now into Patterson. Down the leg side and called a wide. A harsh call, that one, I think, because Patterson did step across the stumps to try and give himself room on the leg side. One for 32. 4.3 overs gone. Oh, thinking about the run, Patterson is sent back. Good bowling from Stoinis. This is very good bowling from Stoinis. That required run rate now will just start to drift out and continue to drift out. Two deliveries left. Patterson bends it away to the offside. No run. He wasn't able to do the job with the bat tonight. Could Stoinis do the job with the ball? He started well. Final ball of his first over. It's been a good one. Patterson turns it away to the leg side. Just a single to finish. It's 1 for 33 off the first 5 overs. Be right back. Bo Webster into bowl. Addison on strike. Slower ball, full. Right on the crease. Addison just guides it down to long on for a single. Ezra Robertson says this may be closer than we originally thought. Wickets are the key, of course, for the Stars. .123 needed off 89. Vince charges Webster, lifts him over the top of mid-off. One bouncing over the rope for 4. James Vince might have just decided it's time to have a little bit of a crack. Dances down the pitch. Creates a long hop. Down to the boundary it goes. Now turned off the pads for 1. 6 off this over so far. A good start. 1 for 39, 5.3 overs. Webster with 3 balls left. Another slower ball. Patterson, happy. Patterson is playing the Webster role here. Just supporting, punching down the ground for ones. Very interesting at the moment, the similarities in the approach. Webster just punching the singles. Vince doing the big hitting whenever he feels the need for it. Webster tightens him up. A dot ball. Well bowled. Final ball of the over. 7 from it so far. That's okay. Inside edge. Square of the wicket for 1. 8 runs off that over. That's good enough for the Sixers. Well, not quite, but good enough to keep them in touching distance. 1 for 41 after 6 overs. Give me $5. Ahoy, mate. How are you doing, sir? Here we go. Spin has entered the chat. Osama Mir to James Vince, turns it away for 1. They push hard on the first. So many seagulls flying around. Ah, yes, give me $5. The footy not far away. I feel like we're just the competition's going to be a lot closer in 2025. I feel, but I also think we are just gliding along to another Melbourne Storm Penrith Panthers grand final, and the Melbourne Storm get up this time. I do believe. Swing and a miss at this one. Patterson goes for the big pull. Nothing but air. And these dot balls will really be starting to trouble the Sydney Sixers. Might just draw a false shot or two. Usama in again. Pulled away. Straight to the man at fine leg. Just the one run. Fine. 2011 says Stars should win. Stars better win. Bangs this one in a little shorter. Vince cuts it away for one. And they're happy to settle with the one. Oh, give me $5. You will be in Vegas for the season opener. Oh, very nice. Feel free to shoot us an email. Dan@wastedsports.com.au. Submit some behind the scenes Vegas footage. Who knows? We might even make it over there one day. Final ball of the over. It's been a good one from Osama. Patterson gets down on the knee, pulls it, and it's well fielded out there at square leg. They'll come back for two. Only 5 from it. 1 for 46, and that required run rate now just starting to push out towards 9. They're bowling well here, the Melbourne Stars. Bowling very well. Let's see what's happening to the odds. I reckon it's closing in to around about that 20 cents that I said. You're kidding me. You are joking me. Well, the bookies are loving the Sydney Sixers at the moment. Look, I think it's a bit closer than that. It is still at a 70 cents difference. Massive favoritism to the Sydney Sixers. I do honestly think it's a bit closer than that. The Sydney Sixers I've got slightly ahead. My odds differential would honestly only be about 20 cents at the moment. Stoinis starts with a dot. An off-pace delivery. And it's another swing and a miss. Stoinis and the Melbourne Stars, I think they've figured out here. Off-pace deliveries just frustrating the batsman. Fine, 2011. I go for the Brisbane Heat. Vince pulls it away for just one out to square leg. One for 47, 7.3 overs gone. AFL, I don't follow. But when I was little and I used to watch it, I would go for Essendon, the Bombers. But like I said, I don't watch it anymore. Good bowling here from Stoinis. really slowing the pace down, and the Sixers are struggling to get the ball away. Just 2 from this over so far. Stoinis into Vince. Oh, he glides this one away fine. It should beat the man. It does. Paris can't get across and cover that off. And it's away for 4. Just a little too short on the leg side there. And the commentator's curse might have struck again. Final ball. Stoinis to Vince. And a dot ball to finish. Vince is frustrated. James Vince is so frustrated right now. A dot ball to finish. Stoinis recovers well in that over. None for 11 off his 2. 1 for 52. 8 overs gone. Well, this is a very delicately poised game now. The Sixers, they haven't lost a lot of wickets. They've lost the 1, obviously. But the wickets haven't tumbled in the way that the Stars innings did. But what the Stars were able to do for the most part was keep that run rate up. This run rate for the Sixers is just not quite there at the moment. 6.5. The Stars were able to go at around about 7.5. Despite losing wickets, they were able to maintain that. And they need to break the shackles. And almost caught there diving in the outfield. Glenn Maxwell with one arm outstretched. It hits the turf and rolls into the fence. That would have been another highlight reel moment for Glenn Maxwell. Patterson just decided here, we've got to break the shackles. We've got to go for it. And Glenn Maxwell's nearly pulled off a ripper of a catch. .101 of 69. This is just starting to get away from the Sixers a little bit. 8.66, the required run rate. Usama beats the bat. Big shout for LBW. And then almost a run out. It's all happening out there. A shout for LBW and then nearly a run out. And it's reviewed. I think this is hit outside the line. Stoinis is taking Osama's word for it. And they have reviewed. I think this is outside the line, though, of leg stump. But we'll see. Osama was very interested. Patterson's 18 of 17. Vince, 26 of 24. Wicket here would be massive for the Stars. All right, let's have a look. Usama pitches in line. Oh, well, it hits in line. Height might be the issue again. Height could be the issue again. Patterson was down on one knee looking for the slog sweep. And it goes through and... height might not be the issue here. It's hit him in the hip. He's down on one knee looking to lift this over the leg side. This is going to be a lot closer than I first suspected. Height could still be the issue here. This could still be umpire's call. It's pitching in line. It's hitting in line. Wickets hitting. That is the glorious review for the Stars. And that is a big wicket. Usama was the only one interested in reviewing that. Stoinis, great captaincy, backed his bowler, and said, "I trust you, mate." Patted him on the shoulder and said, "I trust you, but this is on you." And Patterson is gone 18 off 18, 2 for 56. This game just starting to turn in favour of the Stars. The Sydney Sixers are making a complete balls up of this run chase at the moment. We have got a game on our hands. What a big review that was. Moses Enriquez. Oh, he's bowled extremely well, has Stoinis. Kept things tight. Didn't get a wicket, but he's kept things tight with the ball. Keeping the pressure on the batsman. 2 overs, none for 11. Not too bad. Usama, though, 1 for 9 off 1.4. 2 balls left here. Drifts onto the pads. And Enriquez takes a single. Yeah, catch you later. Give me $5. Looking forward to the NRL season. Not good with the bat at all. No. Not good with the bat at all tonight, Stoinis. As James Vince turns this to the leg side for another single to finish that over. 1 for 11 for Osama off his 2 overs so far. It's 2 for 58. 9 overs gone. The required run rate is now up to 9 and over. And they're just letting this slip out of hand a little bit here, the Sydney Sixers. They'll be very disappointed, to say the least, with how this is working out for them at the moment. You would think, though, with wickets in hand, they would still be slight favourites for this one, I reckon. Let's see if the sports bet agrees with me. This is coming back towards the Stars, though. Oh, now they agree with me. It's now at the 20 cents that I said. Sydney Sixers, $1.75. Melbourne Stars, $2.05. They've now got it matched up where I had it a couple of overs ago. Paris back into the bowling attack. And Vince starts with a 2. Just punching into the offside. Up the NRL says, can the Stars make the top 8? Well, it's not a top 8 in BBL, but I know what you mean. Can the Stars make the finals? Yes, they can, but they have to win. They can't afford another loss, basically. They have to win every single game from here on in. What's it up to in BBL? A top 4. Moses Enriquez charges Paris. Gets just enough on it. He took the chance. Took the risk. Charged down the wicket at Paris. And gets it just over the top of mid-on. And it's away for 4. 4 very valuable runs for the Sydney Sixers. 2 for 65. 7 of this over so far. He charges again. Pulls this one away to fine leg. Just the one. Defunk. Scrap the Tigers and bring back the Magpies in the NRL, I say. Scrap all. Oh, straight down the ground. James Vince stands and delivers. Oh, Jesus, he's hit a seagull. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, he's hit a seagull. Feathers have gone flying everywhere. Vince has pounded this down the ground, and he has wiped out a seagull. Oh, it's dead. Oh, Jesus. Oh, no. Oh, it's dead. Oh, the seagull's been wiped out. Oh, you don't like to see that. Yeah, I think that seagull's dead. I hate to say it. It's been called a 4 anyway. The umpire's discretion has been utilised. But yeah, that poor seagull was not in a good way. 2 for 72, 10 overs gone. We're halfway through this run chase. They've pulled the required run rate back under 9 and over. Oh, the seagull got hit flush. James Vince absolutely smacked the ball straight down the ground. It was flying to the boundary. That ball was hit with a lot of impact, a lot of pace. It wiped out the seagull. Feathers went flying everywhere. And on the first camera shot, the seagull was down, but it was still moving around. When it went back to another shot of the seagull, it was lifeless on the ground. I hope it's okay. I hope it's just resting. They cut the camera away, which when they cut the camera away, that speaks volumes, doesn't it? When the camera cuts away from an injury in the footy, for example, you know that it's very serious. They can't be having that on the television. The camera cut away, which suggests to me that what we saw, the lifeless body of the seagull, you don't like to see it. You don't like to see it. Everything has a right to live, you know, and yeah, how unfortunate. I mean, that would be the equivalent, right, of a human getting hit by a bus. The rarity of that happening. In the seagull world, that's the equivalent of a human being getting wiped out on the side of the road by a bus. Oh, dear. Deary me. Yeah, you don't like to see that at all. 2 for 71 here. Ten overs gone. 86 needed off 60 balls. Usama back into the attack. 2 overs, 1 for 11. Floats this one up to Vince, who's happy to just push it down for a single. I'll just try and see Osama off here, I think. $85 needed or 59. Floats it up again. Tempting. Enriquez into the lofted shot down the ground. And it bounces just short of the man at long off. Through for a single. $84 needed or 58. And with 8 wickets left, I would still have the Sydney Sixers slight favourite. Fake Slim Shady. Ahoy there, mate. Yes, R.I.P. that bird. Absolutely. 84 or 57. Down the pitch. Vince skies this one. Could be caught. Oh, he's dropped it. Ben Duckett. Ben Duckett coming in from long off. Plants himself under it. He had an eternity, maybe too long, to think about it. And he spills it. James Vince is given a life straight through the hands. That is a massive, massive let-off. And they will put those big shots in the can for now and just see off Osama. Oh, that's a big, big drop. And a dot ball to finish. Osama's bowling extremely well. 3 overs, 1 for 15. He should have had a second. 2 for 75 after 11. 82 or 54. I'm still favouring the Sixers here. I've still got the Sixers slightly ahead. Got to watch that run rate, though. That required run rate now has gone beyond 9. It's out to 9.11. They've still got the power surge. Let's not forget that. The power surge is in their pocket. Sportsbet's got the Sydney Sixers $1.51. The Melbourne Stars $2.50. I've got it a wee bit closer than that. I think it's closer than those odds suggest, but Sydney Sixers, though, in my opinion, slightly ahead. Webster into the bowling attack. Zo, ahoy! How are you? Webster, nice full ball. Right on the crease. They can only manage a single. 2 for 77. I'm doing very well, thank you. Oh, you know what? I saw a fascinating thing. I saw that there is a Squid Game on Roblox. Maybe we should play that after the stream. Joe Kenner says, good drop. Game done now. It was a huge let-off. And Ben Duckett, too. Ben Duckett, of all people, to have come up with that drop. Webster to Vince, slower ball. Taking the pace off has certainly proved to be quite effective in terms of slowing down the run scoring. I can't believe the Seagulls, honestly. Like, these Seagulls have literally just seen a friend of theirs die in the most horrible, horrible way, and they're all still mingling out there on the field. Slight misfield. Oh, now overthrows. Oh, it's going to hell in a handbasket quickly here for the Melbourne Stars. Should have been a dot ball. Giving away the overthrow. 2 for 80. Joe Kenner says, what's my favorite game? Oh, what's my best game of the year so far? There's been a few, hasn't there? As Vince lifts this into the offside, out to cover for 2 more runs. There have been some cracking games in BBL 14 so far. We've seen a lot of them go down to the wire. I would have to pick, as a Brisbane Heat supporter, I have to pick the Brisbane Heat chasing down the other night against all the odds, right? But yeah, there's been so many games. The Sydney Thunder, like Daniel Sams, putting on that clinic to chase down the unchaseable against I think that was against the Adelaide Strikers very early on in the tournament. But yeah, there's been so many. It's been a really, really good BBL 14. Best catch of the season. Again, there's been so many candidates. I guess maybe it's what's the word? Recency bias. Maybe it's just recency bias, but that Glenn Maxwell effort. Leaping up with one arm, tossing it back into the field of play. What should the MCG do about these seagulls? A roof. A roof, Barry. Seems like the most logical solution. Vince pulls this one away. Can't beat the circle. He was lucky he didn't get enough on it to go straight to the man there. 74 needed or 46. Peter Siddle is bowling a single and a dot with the opening 2 balls. James Vince, 42 of 38. They've still got the surge up their sleeve. And there we go. Vince glides this one past short third man for 4. I still think the Sydney Sixers are slight favourites here at KFF. Barry, all you asked me is what they should do about it. I'm not here to answer the how. You know what I mean? I'm not here to answer the how. I'm just here to give the solution. How is up to somebody else. Walshy, 10, ahoy there. I go for the Brisbane Heat. I tipped the Sydney Sixers in this one. Peter Siddle, 6 off this over so far. 2 balls left. Drifts onto the pads. Enriquez turns it square. Pushes hard for 2. And they come back for 2. That's well run. Two for 90. Blake, ahoy there, mate. How are you? Siddle, beautiful delivery, right on target. And Enriquez can only punch it back down for a dot ball. Beautifully bowled by Peter Siddle. He's done just enough. Oh, Renegades on top. Ahoy, mate. There will be a happy man. There will be a happy man. Renegades on top. Power Surge is called. The Power Surge is called. It's time for the Sydney Sixers to go. One of the drunk. Ahoy, mate. Welcome back. Once again, such a very fitting participant in the chat room for this channel. Marcus Stoinis will be bowling the first over of the Power Surge. Joe, to be honest, I mean, you're probably right on the basis of what you've suggested, as Vince lifts this one just over the top of mid-on and mid-off. He didn't get hold of it, but they'll come back for a second. Yeah, I think you raise a good point, Joe. I just personally think the Big Bash doesn't need expansion. I think it's fine, perfect, just the way it is. And I think expansion will only ruin it. Onto the pads. Vince guides it away. Square of the wicket for 4. And the Power Surge has started extremely well here. Here they come. James Vince brings up his 50. Stoinis recovers well here with a dot ball. The Real Sixer fan, thank you very much for covering that question on the YouTube chat. Rock My Balls asking, what is the Power Surge? And the Real Sixer fan coming through with the answer. Dancing down the pitch, Vince lifts this high in the air. Has he got enough on it? The fielder plants himself under it. And it's Glenn Maxwell, and Glenn Maxwell makes no mistake. Oh, Glenn Maxwell's having a laugh, which suggests that he may have almost dropped that. But that's a big wicket. Maxwell is who you want under. That would have been a difficult catch, man. That's gone about 7,000 meters into the sky. That has nearly wiped out all of Elon Musk's satellites. It's gone that high up. What a catch from Maxwell. Big wicket. James Vince goes 53 from 44. It's 3 for 96. Quick break. Be right back. Big wicket, that one. James Vince sits down. Jordan Silk comes out to the crease now. Starts with a leg by. LJ says we need a seagull update. Oh, please stop reminding me of the seagull. That poor seagull got cleaned up. 7 runs and a wicket from this over. Henriquez pulls this away. Doesn't find the fence. He finds Maxwell. And that's another huge wicket. The Melbourne Stars now. This game has swung. The Melbourne Stars are on top. Two wickets in that Stoinis over has turned this game well and truly in favour of the Stars. Maxwell doing the job again. Two big catches, two big wickets. Stoinis is hulking up. It's the Stars on top suddenly. How quickly T20 cricket can turn on its head, and look at the odds. Melbourne Stars $1.48 favourites. The Sydney Sixers $2.60 outsiders. How quickly a game of T20 can turn. Just like that, Marcus Stoinis. He couldn't do it with the bat. He's done it with the ball instead. And he can buy Glenn Maxwell some beers after the game as well, because those were a couple of difficult catches. 4 for 97. The required run rate's 9.73. Jack Edwards to the crease, and here comes Peter Siddle. It doesn't get any easier now for the Sydney Sixers. Two fresh batsmen. They've only faced one ball between them, and Siddle squares Jordan Silk up. He can't get it away. All the momentum is suddenly with the Melbourne Stars. This has been an incredible turnaround, not just with the bat for the Melbourne Stars when all looked lost, but with the ball now as well when all looked lost. They've turned this game around twice. Bowled him! Peter Siddle has clean bowled Jordan Silk. And this is theirs to lose now. The Melbourne Stars have come romping home. And it's been Marcus Stoinis and now Peter Siddle chiming in. Perfect line of length. Clean bowls him. Jordan Silk had no answer. This is an incredible turnaround. Not quite as incredible as the Melbourne Renegades the other night, but this is a massive turnaround. This game was gone. This was absolutely gone. The Sydney Sixers were cruising. 5 for 97, they suddenly are. The required run rate closing in on 11 and over. 60 runs needed still of 5 overs. Hayden Curnow out to the crease. The Melbourne Stars right on top. Oh, and he's almost chopped it on. Beats the keeper and away for 4. Well bowled, Peter Siddle. Grady turned it off for 15 minutes, and then it's turned on its head, and that is the nature of, well, that's the nature of cricket, really, but especially T20 cricket, right? That's what makes it so enjoyable. Peter Siddle bowling well. Ball, outside off. Just hangs the bat out. And it beats the outside edge. It always just it always just amazes me, like, momentum. Wasted World of Sports. We cover a lot of footy. rugby league, rugby union. Momentum is a huge thing in those sports. I just don't think about momentum the same way as I do in the footy. Or in the rugby, I'll say. In the rugby. But we are seeing from BBL 14 momentum out the wazoo. Five for 101, 56 needed off 31 balls. The power surge clearly fell the way of the Stars. And their batting power surge fell the way of the Stars as well. The players are racing to the other end. The Melbourne Stars have got their tails up. The crowd is behind them. And they're well on top here. The Sydney Sixers in a world of hurt. They are really struggling. Cody McMurray says, come on the Stars. And yeah. I actually think, in terms of who's going to win BBL, I'm liking the look of the Hurricanes, eh? I really think the Hobart Hurricanes are on point at the moment. Currently sitting in third spot, but they've got a game in hand. Should the Sixers falter here tonight, which it looks like they're going to, Hurricanes win, will go to the top of the table, still with a game in hand over the other teams. Kerr down the ground. Just the one. This crowd has come to life in support of the home side. 5 for 103. Phil, I go for the Brisbane Heat. And the Brisbane Heat, they're not out of it yet either. Still a chance of getting to the finals. Turned away off the pads. Edwards, just the one. Singles will not win it for the Sixers. 11.78, the required run rate. This has gotten out of hand. The Melbourne Stars, they've bowled so well. Stoinis, Siddle. Kerr gets a thick outside edge. Out to point, just the one. They were cruising, the Sixers. Absolutely cruising. This has been an incredible turnaround. Stars will most likely win from here, yeah. They would have to toss up some horrible overs. Osama Mir bowling really well. Wow, that's a poor ball. Webster just tossed that one up. Half volley, slower ball, right on middle stump. And Edwards, that's right in his swinging arc. Straight down the ground for 6. I might have commentators cursed that one. They get 12 from the over. $11 or 12 from that over? 11 it would be. Oh, it's not. Yeah, that's what they needed. 5 for 112, 16 overs gone. 45 more runs needed. Only 4 overs left. 45 off 24. It will take a monumental effort. Stop talking about the seagull. I don't want to be reminded of it. That was so sad. That was so sad to see. No animal deserved what that poor seagull went through. What an incredible story this would be, though, right? If the Melbourne Stars continue this run, go undefeated into the finals, and win the competition, what a story it would be. They were on the bottom of the table pretty much from the start. It's been punched back to Osama, who claims the catch. He is appealing for a caught and bowled here. Edwards doesn't want to walk. The umpires converge and have a chat. Well, the bowler is claiming the caught and bowled here. And they're going to have a look. It's pats on the back and high fives all around for the Melbourne Stars. And this will be an absolute nothing burger of a wicket if it's given. Just a little loop back to the bowler. Oh, he's taken it. I think he's taken it here. Is it a bump ball? No, it's just scooped up in the air. Osama gets the fingers under it. This is going to be another wicket. This is another one. Yes, the fingers are under the ball there. What a catch from Osama Mir. Here's the side-on angle. That is into the hands, in my opinion. And another one's gone. Surely. Fingers are under the ball. And this is another wicket down. He was very confident, Osama. Knew that he had taken it. 6 for 112. The Sydney Sixers are in all sorts here. They are in all sorts. Out. He's on his way. Is Edwards 9 or 5? And they're just out of batsmen now, the Sixers. 45 from 23 is still gettable in the BBL in a T20 game. They're just out of batsmen is the problem for them. Too many wickets have fallen. Ben Dorshus could very well change this game. He's been left with a monumental task, though. Is Ben Dorshus going to Daniel Sams this? It's a big ask, isn't it? It's a big ask. Ben Dorshus. He didn't get us a wicket in the multi. .45 needed off 23 balls. NRL Super King, ahoy, mate. .45 off 23. Osama to Dorshus. Dorshus goes after it straight away. And they settle for the single. Kerr on strike. Reverse sweep. Kerr sends it fine. Siddle pumping the old legs, chasing after it. And they come back for two. Great fielding from Peter Siddle, continuing to wind back the clock. Three runs and a wicket off this over. Swing and a miss. Well, that's a mile down leg side. A very ambitious appeal. He just wants more wickets. Usama. That was a long way down leg side, though, and he knows it. No thought of a review there. So 42 of 21. Ben Dorcius on strike. Or 41 of 20, sorry. 2 balls left here for Usama. Floats it up, beats the bat. Big appeal, but outside leg stump, I believe. Dot ball, though, importantly, for the Melbourne Stars. Usama Mir, what a performance with the ball it's been for him. Final ball of his spell, he's 2 for 18. And he finishes with just the single. They'll push for 2 here, maybe. No, just the one. Usama Mir, 4 overs, 2 for 19. What a bowling spell. Just what the doctor ordered for the Melbourne Stars. And he is not alone in his performance. That's been the key for the Melbourne Stars here tonight. It's not just Usama. It's been Stoinis as well. Steckety. They've all bowled well. 40 runs needed off 18 balls. Stoinis to bowl his last. 2 for 18 so far for him. Dorcius cuts it away. Well fielded by that man, Usama Mir. And it's just held to a single. $39 off 17. Six for 118. They've made really poor work of this chase, the Sydney Sixers. Stoinis into Kerr. Kerr dances down the pitch, gets this one, got all of it. And he has drilled this over long on for 6. Well, they need a lot more of that. Stoinis dropping this in a little too short. It's gone 90 metres. Take that, says Kerr. Well, he has shown that he can send them. We know that Dorcius can send them. 33 off 16, slower ball. Pulled away into the gap. Should be at least 2. And they do. Oh, they think about the third. They settle for 2. Oh. 9 runs off this over now from Stoinis. Pressure on the bowler. Jocker, ahoy the mate. How are you going? 31 or 15. Stoinis to Kerr. Outside off stump. Cut away. Just the single. They push hard for the first one. Misfield. They'll get the 2. No. They settle for the 1. They'd already settled for the 1. The misfield came at just the right time for the Melbourne Stars. In that sense. They couldn't push back for the second. Dorcius on strike. Paddy Conroy says up the Stars. 30 runs needed or 14 balls. Stoinis bangs it in short. Dorshus pulls it away. Can't find the gap. Just a single. 11 off this over. But that's not going to be enough. They need 13 and over. More now. 13.38. Dorshus just hasn't got going tonight. They need a 6 to finish. Kerr on strike. Stoinis full on the pads. Turned away for 1. Actually, they might get 2. They settle for 1. Just the single to finish. Stoinis 2 for 30 of his 4 overs. He's done extremely well. He's led from the front as the captain. Unbeaten in 2025, says Paddy Conroy. What a story it would be, honestly. What a remarkable story. The Melbourne Stars have been on the bottom of the table, all the way. They're still on the bottom of the table at the moment, right? Until they win this one. Imagine the story, bottom of the table, all the way through the tournament, go on an unbeaten run, make it to the finals. What a story that would be. 18 overs gone. Peter Siddle back in. What the hell is that in front of my face? Peter Siddle back into the bowling attack. 6 for 129. The required run rate, 14. The Melbourne Stars, surely, Andrew, they win from here. Siddle to Kerr. Kerr goes after him. Doesn't get all of it. Picks out the man at long on. But it's been dropped. Glenn Maxwell's dropped it. And they come back for 2. Glenn Maxwell with the drop. In and out. Should have been taken. Especially should have been taken by Glenn Maxwell's standards. Six for 130. 27 off 11. Dorshus on strike. Will Dorshus be able to take on Siddle, who's bowling straight? Oh my God! Will he be able to take him on? He's gone after him. He doesn't quite get hold of it. And Bo Webster, with those go-go gadget arms up above his head, takes the catch. And that will be the game. Surely. Dorshus went after him all right. On any other ground but the MCG, that is probably a 6. But Bo Webster gets the arms up, takes the catch. 7 for 130. Dorshus did not quite fire tonight. He goes for 4 off 6. And the Melbourne Stars on the verge of another victory. Lifting themselves off the bottom of the table. I tipped wrong, yes. I did tip the Sydney Sixers in this one. Sean Abbott. Well, Sean Abbott's capable of hitting sixes. 27 from 10. He's got nothing to lose, really. Can go after this. Guides this one fine. Should race away for 4. Oh, well fielded out there by Steckity. Cuts off the boundary. They only get 2 runs. That's well fielded. You thought that was fine enough to just race away for 4. But just the 2. 25 off 9. Three balls left for Peter Siddle. They need boundaries. 3 of them. Abbott goes after it, just lifts it up onto the leg side for 1. Well, they have to push for 2. That's well run. They had to do it, though. They're on a hiding to nothing now. They had to run for it. 23 off 8. Peter Siddle, 2 for 23 off 3.4. Stoinis bowled well. Siddle bowled well. Usama Mir bowled immaculately. Been the difference. Abbott backs away, gives himself some room. Punches it straight to the cover. No run. A dot ball. Who bowls the last over? .22 from 7. Siddle to bowl his last. Bangs it in short. Kerr pulls it away. They'll get 2 here. Steckety throws. The stumps have been taken out already by Hilton Cartwright. 20 runs needed off the last over. It's a long shot. Big long. Oh, and they have turned to Steckety. 1 for 13 off 2 overs so far. And Steckety to bowl the last. Now, if Steckety was still wearing a Brisbane Heat jersey, he could find a way to lose this. But I think in a Stars jersey, he'll see this out. Steckety to Abbott. 20 runs needed off 6 balls. Puts it in short. A swing and a miss. They come through for the single. Well bowled. Steckety starts well. 19 off 5 balls. UFC OnlyFans, ahoy. Oh, Paddy Conroy. Don't even get me started, mate. Players that leave the Heat and become better players at other clubs. As Kerr goes after it. Straight up in the air. Has he got enough on it? Taken by Ben Duckett this time. Duckett in front of the sight screen. Makes no mistake. And the Melbourne Stars are home and hosed. The Sydney Sixers just ran out of batsmen. Eight for 138. 19 runs needed from 4 deliveries. They need 2 sixes and 2 fours. And it's all left up to Hussain. Akil Hussain. Boundaries are all that will do it from here on in. And we are well and truly into the tail. 19 runs needed or 4 deliveries. It would be the miracle of all miracles. Steckity, though, has been on point. 19 needed or 4. Hussein. Sweet. Oh, God. I shouldn't laugh because I'm sure I couldn't do any better. But a slower delivery there from Steckity, and Hussein was through the swing about 3 minutes before the ball actually arrived. Oh, boy. Oh, the poor guy. Sean Abbott back on strike. 18 runs now of 3 balls. 3 sixes in a row is what it will take. Three big sixes in a row to win the game. Steckity to Abbott. Oh, slower ball, and he lifts it straight to the man at backward point. And they might get bowled out here, the Sydney Sixers. Comprehensive victory for the Melbourne Stars. Comprehensive. They stay in touch, and they remain a slight chance. Slight as it may be, it is still something. And the Melbourne Stars have done it. What an incredible performance, an incredible victory. Steckity, he could never bowl a final. Excuse me. Steckity could never bowl a final over like this when he played for the Heat. Used to drive me absolutely crazy how many runs he would give away. Steckity to Murphy, swing and a miss. One more delivery left. 18 runs. Or 1 wicket. One more wicket to bowl them out. And honestly, the way that the Melbourne Stars have bowled here tonight, they deserve to bowl them out. Steckity to Murphy. Chops this one up in the air. It'll land short. It lands short of Duckett down at long on. 9 for 140. The Melbourne Stars have knocked off the top of the table, Sydney Sixers. And I believe that the Sixers remain on top of the table. But the Hobart Hurricanes are breathing right down their neck. A win for the Hurricanes will see them now leapfrog and take over top spot. Incredible display from the Stars. Honestly, they looked down and out with the bat. They recovered. They looked gone with the ball. They recovered. What a performance it's been. To come back twice in the same game. Incredible for the home side. 9 for 156. We thought for all money it was about 14 runs too short. But they've bowled extremely well. That might be one of the best bowling performances I've seen in BBL 14. Incredible. So, from thinking that they were from thinking that they were 14 runs too few, they've ended up winning by 16. Absolutely incredible performance from the Melbourne Stars. So let's see if the table gets an update. Big Bash table. It hasn't updated yet. So the Sixers are plus 228. The Thunder were plus 166. Oh, there we go. Okay, so the net run rate becomes plus 04. There you go. And the Stars are off the bottom of the table. The Melbourne Stars have lifted off the bottom of the table. All the teams above them, though, do still have a game to play. But the win was absolutely necessary. Completely needless to say. Sydney Thunder on top. And this BBL 14 has become very, very interesting, right? Because before any of the games took place, we were thinking Perth Scorchers and Sydney Sixers. The Scorchers and the Sixers, well, I wouldn't say the Sixers are struggling, but the Scorchers are definitely struggling. But the Sixers losing here keeps things very, very interesting indeed. Wow. What a performance there for the Melbourne Stars. Well and truly on top in this one. Doing the job, getting the win. Congratulations to them. Off the bottom of the table for the first time this season, this BBL 14. Waste of Water Sports, thank you so much for your company here. What's tomorrow's game? Do we know? We should. Hurricanes versus the Thunder. Hell yeah. I mean, that's basically the battle for top spot, isn't it? Yes. That's the battle for top spot. Oh, bring it on. Hurricanes versus the Thunder. Thank you so much for joining me here for this one. We'll catch you tomorrow. Top of the table clash. Literally, top of the table clash. The winner takes all. Well, not takes all. The winner goes to the top of the table for the time being. All right. Thank you so much. I'll catch you tomorrow. Until then, cheers.